I think I got all my notes together on this record coming in at number 36. No, number 37 on my fancy playlist. Missy Misdemeanor Elliot with "Sock It To Me." Sock it to me. One of those old hip expressions from the late 1960s. Sock it to me. Richard Nixon. I remember a presidential candidate at the time. Richard Nixon said "Sock it to me" on the. Was it the Smothers Brothers or was it Laugh-In? It might have been Laugh-In back in 1968. Oh boy, Missy Elliott. You know, going back to the 90s. Let's go back 20 years ago. Thinking about the female rappers back in the 90s. Three prime female rappers from that era. There was Missy Elliott, Little Kim, who emerged in 1996, 97. Salt and Pepper, although Salt and Pepper had their first hit record, really big hit push in 1988, but they were still popular going into the 90s. And there was also The Brat. Now, "Sock It To Me" by Missy Elliott was written by several people. Well, some of the lyrics, well, a person who had a big part in this record was Shantae Harris. Shantae Harris, a.k.a. The Brat. Her debut album, The Brat's debut album, Funkified, sold over 1 million copies. Remember the hit record Funkified back in the summer of 1994? Had that way up on my fancy playlist. However, this record samples a 1968 Delphonics hit, obscure on the pop charts, but a big R&B hit called "Ready or Not." Here I Come. And the song was also sampled by the Fugees' "Ready or Not," which came out back in 1996. And my train of thought's derailing. Bear with me. Trying to put my train of thought back together. You know, I'm thinking about Missy Elliott. Here's the thing about Missy Elliott. The Rain, where she kind of samples Ann Peoples' "I Can't Stand the Rain," which came out in 73. That was probably her first big hit. That was in 96, 97. Other records by her, Past That Dutch or Past the Dutch, Get Your Freak On. Remember Get Your Freak On? That was a real catchy one. Work That. And was it 1 Minute Man? I believe was another one that she did. Oh my goodness. Yes. The video looks cheesy by today's standards. I know that. Technically, it looks a little primitive by today's standards, and the video's a little fuzzy. But, and I'm really directing this if you're too young to remember. If you're in your teens or 20s watching a video, you're watching it. I mean, if you're in your teens and your 20s, you're watching the video and you're thinking, "Oh my God, man, what is this? This is like watching those old silent movies back in the 19 teens or 20s." Well, yeah, that's true, but consider that this was state of the art at the time. 1997. The video was based on the Mega Man video game series, and it featured. This was Missy Elliott and Lil Kim. They're wearing these spacesuits. I believe these red and white spacesuits. They're on this remote planet. They're being chased by robot monsters, and then they're rescued. The brat comes in like the cavalry, wearing this yellow and black spacesuit, and she writes her verse, and she saves the day. And there it is. There's your video right there, classic rap video by Missy Elliott. "Sock It To Me," debuting at number 37 on my fantasy playlist, October 18th, 1997.